Headliner, he's right. He's drumming his fingers. And why? Bob Cesca joins us now.
Listening on. To bring you a special broadcast.
You're cute. And I love you, Bob Cesca.
Where you coming from?
Bob is calling us from Washington.
You Cesca things.
Go ahead.
Washington D.C.
Just follow the money.
Hi, Bob.
Hi. I would have said thank you to Karen, but I don't talk until my jingle plays.
No, I know. I was like, Karen, he's not here yet.
Yeah.
Don't break the fourth wall.
I appreciate that. Geddy Lee's mom was a remarkable woman. She survived the Holocaust. She met her husband during the Holocaust in a concentration camp, and they were reunited later, and they gave birth to one of the greatest musicians of all time. So that's a pretty good track record.
People don't realize before you became a radio nerd and a bike nerd, you were, of course, a music nerd. So, yeah, but even before being a superhero nerd, you've been you are so many kinds of nerd.
Yes, there's a blank. You fill in the blank right before the word nerd and put a word in there, and I've probably been that kind of nerd at
We're
some
trying
point.
to out-bike nerd each other on Instagram, I think.
Yes.
Right? Because today's Outdoor Bike Day. You can see my shirt. This
Yep.
is when I go listen to the Bob Cesca Show on my bike after I talk to Bob Cesca on my show.
Right.
And then we post pictures. And we're like, I did a century once in Hawaii. Yeah, remember when I met you? And so we're just...
What we need... Stephanie, we need like a John Tesh theme for our bike riding, like a theme song, like in the 80s, John Tesh.
Like a John.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, all the pro cycling coverage was like John Tesh music behind it. And that, I never forget that. Right. So we need that. It needs to get really cheesy here.
Yeah, we're like Breaking Away or all those bike movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, right.
So
Refund.
We were just talking about, the fire hose of tennis balls. I can't remember anymore. But isn't it feel the same way? We were just saying at the top of the show, like, even though Trump's gone, it's just like, Trump said what? Like, it's still the same. Oh, Trump said Hitler did some good things. Oh, Trump was going to put COVID patients in Gitmo. Like,
Yeah.
And
it's remarkable.
You tweeted, I'm not being hyperbolic when I say it's a miracle we survived the Trump presidency.
Obviously, minus 600,000 Americans, if not more. But at the same time, the fact that the United States has endured, I mean, on the upside, says a little something about, I think, the resilience of the system. And so that's the only reason why I think we're still here.
Well, you, I think, got into it with some Trumper on Twitter who said, yeah, it ain't over. And you said his presidency is over. I didn't say Trump or Trumpism is over because I'm not insane. I said his presidency is over. His access to the nuclear codes specifically, and this is objectively true. Jesus, it shouldn't be this controversial. I mean, but we really are. Like you always said, we're fighting Trumpism now. We're fighting this just cancer, this infection, we were saying, Bob, it's just become a party completely detached from reality about everything. COVID, January 6th, the election, 2020 election, right?
Yeah. They've decided that there's a target demographic in this country that's willing to accept tall tales and nonsense. And that's what they're being handed right now by the Republican Party. The Republican Party knows that if it makes up whatever confirmation bias is required to keep all these people stirred up and activated and voting, then that's what they're going to do. They have no more connection to reality. I mean, it doesn't exist anymore for them. Bob, it's just whatever they make up.
It's serious. I swear to God, I feel like there's only a few of us with a sense of, just alarm that I think is necessary. You said, yes, as I said, we survived the Trump presidency, asterisk. He's not president. We're still here. Whether we survive Trumpism and his continued existence on the national stage is another story with significant potential for disaster. I mean, you mentioned just this past weekend, who shot Ashley Babbitt? Who shot her? Who did it? I mean, he's trying to get that guy or woman killed, whoever the Capitol police officer was that just very justifiably shot Ashley Babbitt. I mean, I'm sorry.
And he knows it. He knows
only shootings of black people by police are justified. Like you said, in a way, Trump shot her. Trump, Fox News, Ron, and Jim Watkins, they radicalized her enough to join a violent coup attempt against the Article 1 powers. What did she think would happen? I mean, okay. Right.
Yeah.
But
The dueling tracks is Trump originally ran for president as a major publicity stunt. And then he started to get high on his own supply, et cetera. And then at the same time, you've got these guys, Ron and Jim Watkins, out in the Philippines, who started Q, who basically are Q. And on these dueling tracks, they have decided, based on pranks and publicity, they have been able to create this entire movement of gullible, ridiculous Americans who ultimately, as one of many denouements in their story, invaded the U.S. Capitol and occupied the U.S. Capitol, attempting a coup against the Article 1 powers. That was the culmination of it. And I think the best thing we can do is to constantly be refocusing the spotlight on that story, on the incompetence when it came to dealing with COVID and the insurrection. Because what they're attempting to do now is, blah, 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 look over here, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, isn't she ridiculous? Look at her. She's like the rodeo
That's
clown.
Me. I'm the Billy Bass of liberals. I'm just every time, what she said. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to obviously because she is a member of this movement and she has power. She's one of 435 Americans who's charged with voting on laws that govern us all. So in that respect, she's important to follow. But at the same time, she's also a valuable tool for the Trumpism movement, for the Red Hat movement.
Right.
She's a tool.
Well,
yeah, she's just a tool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, she did twice. She did it again. Well, yesterday, she said, all voters are over COVID. No one cares about the Delta variant or any other variant. They're over COVID. There's no amount of fear or screaming from the media that will ever force Americans to shut down again. Forced masks and vaccines will cause Dems to lose big. She said Fox News was part of the fake news media and told people who don't like America or our flag to get the hell out of our great country and go live in some whole socialist or communist country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I said on my show yesterday that with this Delta variant right now, I feel like we're back in February 2020.
Yes.
And we're kind of waving a giant flag that says, look over here. We need to pay attention to this a little bit. This is going to be a big deal in the coming months, I'm afraid.
But meanwhile, Trump. Did I just call you?
Yeah, you did.
Bob.
What?
Bob. Can I call you Trump? No, but the headline, this is what Donald Trump has left us, was my point. An American Airlines flight from Charlotte to the Bahamas was delayed at the airport for several hours, then canceled after a group of 30 high school seniors from Boston refused to wear masks. Mask holes, COVIDiots. This is what... I mean, good job. So your trip's canceled.
You still believe children are the future?
No, not those idiots.
This is the problem.
COVIDiots.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Thank
because
you.
there are multitudes of people in this country who refuse to act like grown-ups. And I don't care if they're 18 years old or if they're 48. It doesn't matter. They need to do what is the societal thing to do right now, which is to get to some sort of herd immunity of this. And we're never going to get there if all of these people are refusing to do the right thing. It's just basic acting like a grown-up. It's basic adulthood here.
We're trying to keep, exactly, Bob, especially going into the fall and winter and school. We're trying to keep people alive, and they're screaming about critical race theory, which isn't being taught anywhere in any school. And meanwhile, kids are getting the Delta variant and having very serious outcomes. You tweeted, you can't be the party of Lincoln and the party of the Confederacy, etc. Lincoln was murdered by a Confederate assassin. That's just for starters. Hundreds of thousands of American soldiers under Lincoln, their commander-in-chief, were also killed by Confederates. Read a book. Thank you.
Yeah. This is one of those things that just baffles me about this position that they've taken with regard to Lincoln and with regard to the Confederate flag. Nikki Haley, for example, who obviously needs the South Carolinian vote in all of this. In order to get the South Carolinian vote, you wave the Confederate flag. But it doesn't, there's no consistency with that. And, oh, yes, we're also the party of Lincoln and freeing the slaves.
Right.
The irony is so ridiculous and so thick, it's hard to cut through it. And but with this, they have no concept and they don't care. Obviously, anything that works, anything that people will repeat, the dumbest bumper sticker slogans is how they market their ideas. And it doesn't matter if it's consistent from day to day. Whatever floats their boat, whatever suits their confirmation bias in that moment. That's what they hear. Yeah, that's what they
I also loved your tweet. Who will be the first billionaire in space is a question perfectly suited for our ridiculous times.
Yes.
Yeah. aviators and so on being upped to the space program. We've all seen the right stuff. These are very strenuously trained guys who were flying those missions. And now it's just like, what billionaire douchebag is going to go to go to space in the 2020s? Hey, hooray for us. We're sending billionaires to space.
Your next most important tweet, JFC, consumer fireworks are a blight. Thank you. Why don't we just call it, scare the out of dogs day instead of July 4th? I mean, really.
Yeah.
And blow your fingers off day. It's blow your fingers off day, everybody.
Yeah, and there was no greater example of that than that Ocean City explosion, where all the fireworks went up on the beach. And it just looked like, there was another picture that kind of accompanied it, where there was some sort of gas refinery explosion near the Baltic Sea or something like that. And there were beachgoers wearing their, bikini beach wear and so on, and they're walking around, and there's this giant mushroom cloud behind them. And I was like, that is the perfect, goth 1980s album cover. Someone needs to make that their album cover. A bunch of beachgoers having a nice time, giant mushroom cloud behind them of a petroleum explosion.
Speaking of bands, someone wants to name their band Radioactive Hell Pigs, and we will tell them to submit for your indie countdown show.
Yes, exactly right. That's what I was thinking. My God, if there's that band, I need to play that band. I need to play that music on my show.
By the way,
BobCesca.com/music.
Yes.
By the way, didn't Devin Nunes set off light his fake farm on fire with illegal fireworks?
He did.
Yes.
He did.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. On my show yesterday, I played that great Jerky Boys prank call where the one guy blows his fingers off and then he calls the emergency room with his fingers blown off. which is like, I'm just imagining that happening all across the country last night with people blowing up their money for some reason.
Oh, God. What did we say yesterday? The CDC had to warn people. Oh, don't go in a public pool if you have diarrhea.
Right.
Why? We're a dumb country. We're just dumb. I'm sorry.
We're a bunch of idiots. Yeah.
Except for you,
We're
Bob.
just a bunch of idiots pooping in the pool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the United States. The United States pooping in the pool since 1776.
All right. Happy Bob Day. This is when I talk to Bob and then I go listen to Bob Cesca Show, which is essential on the Sexy Liberal Podcast Network on my bike.
This is the last time we talked to him before his birthday.
Oh, you have your big birthday coming up.
Oh, yeah. I turned 50. Next time we talk here on the show, I'm going to be 50 years old. That's ridiculous.
I know. And you're my adult supervision now as I will turn 40 in September.
Right. That's right. Yeah, and we've always had that age difference.
I know. I know.
The sort of May, May, October kind of thing going on.
Thank you for taking care of me, big brother. All right. Love you. Bye.
Thanks, Bob.
Love you too.